Virgo, Venus is in your sign and you have been thriving. Venus stays with you in the sign of Virgo until around mid-August. Let's look at these cards row by row together in just a moment, and I'll pull more to clarify. I want to give you my thoughts on what's been going on with you, Virgo, then what you're presently experiencing, and then we'll look at future energies before clearing this up. But okay, so you have been very much in a bind over something, and kudos to you, Virgo. You've been handling this extremely well. You have been staying very much on top of your shit and staying on top of other people's shit, because everybody is losing it at this time. Everybody is feeling this collective moon card energy. What the hell is going on? What's next? Kudos to you. You're really staying in your lane. And you have been. This is more of a past energy. I'll tell you what I'm seeing coming up around it too. We've plenty of storylines unfolding here for you, Virgo. But you have been feeling in somewhat of a bind, not maybe able to say or speak about things, okay? And it's all linked to, like, you maybe don't know fully about what that's all about. You may fully haven't heard all the information yet, so you don't feel comfortable speaking about it. There also talks about secrets and hidden factors at play when the moon card shows up. Some secrets may have been revealed to you, Virgo, even in the month of June when we had eclipse season. And you are a mutable sign, and those were happening in fellow mutable signs, Gemini and Sag. So you may have felt the nature of change or culmination points as of late, but you're staying above everything at the moment. You have been, but something tells me that there could be some sort of a breaking point coming up soon. We will look at this spread together because it really illustrates pretty clearly maybe how you've been feeling. Okay, so we begin the month of August with the Devil and the Ace of Cups. Now, let's say this. Okay, this doesn't have to be a bad energy. This could just be kind of like, okay, so money is about to get better for the sign of Virgo, particularly Virgo rising, as Venus will move into the sign of Libra on August 16th, which will be Virgo rising's house of income, finances, personal wealth, okay? What I'm seeing could happen. Virgo decides to spend all this money on something like dinner or drinks or a very expensive night out, when they could have been better off investing that money, and they could better themselves by investing in their mental and physical health at this time. Why this is coming up so important for the sign of Virgo this month is because, this is going to be a little bit more for Virgo rising, but Virgo absolutely. But I do recommend you watch your rising sign, Virgo. So I just, if you have a Virgo sun, maybe a Pisces rising, you would check the Pisces video out too, for example. So like your sister sign, Pisces rising, Virgo rising, the focus for those rising signs for the month of August is really physical, mental health. This is true for Virgo sun too, just to a lesser extent. And that is because the sun is in Leo, in your house of mental health, the 12th house, and opposite that, the Saturn, planet of restrictions and tightness, has been in your house of physical health. So Virgo rising, you may have felt like you've been falling out of your usual routine of working out or meditating or doing the things that make you feel good. Since May, Jupiter left Saturn, its co-presence in Aquarius, so that's made mental health, physical health access kind of a little bit more fraught. So that could be as simple as, like, you've been spending a lot of time indulging, it's time to kind of get back to the gym, it's time to start meditating. There is a new moon in Leo on 8th of August. Great time to set intentions, Virgo. And for Virgo rising, that's going to be a really powerful time to set intentions around something to do with your mental health, because this is happening in your 12th house of mental health. Setting an intention to meditate for 5 to 10 minutes every morning is a great place to start, or something to build on. Let's keep going with these cards. We're going to look at the spread together. I just wanted to touch on some astrology. So money matters improving for Virgo rising in the month of August. Be careful just where you're spending that money. You don't want to overindulge. Very materialistic, consumeristic card with the Devil. There could be something that you could share or feel like you would be outpouring more love or giving something as you invest in yourself at the same time. Giving to yourself. That could be all that is all about. And as well as this, physical and mental health, and setting new intentions and positive, kind of like making positive changes in those areas of your life could be really useful. So whatever issues are happening through the month of August, and we will clear these up with more cards and look at this spread together. Nine of Wands is saying whatever you're letting build during the month of August sets to continue towards the entire month, and even perhaps into September. So we want to look at that, because by the time you've let these problems mount. And Virgo, it could be just you dealing with everybody else's issues, procrastinating so that you don't have to tackle your own. That can be kind of a Virgoan way, right? Because they are a sign of servitude and help, okay, and aid, but sometimes that can just be misdirected. You maybe need to focus on yourself, because if you let these issues build, it looks like we have 2 10s. Oh no, I just noticed Wheel of Fortune is also the number 10. Yeah, 10 represents the ending of an old way or a cycle. Can't go any further on this. Something is going to start new. So you're kind of, if you let these problems fester or kind of like not address them in the month of August when you get opportunities to, and some of you may just say, I'm going to stay in devil mode, I'm going to ignore it, I'm going to just distract myself with something else that feels good in the moment but ultimately doesn't leave me feeling fully satisfied long term. If you don't address that, then I see these things mounting. We'll clear it up, but the Wheel of Fortune is like, at that point you're just going to be almost relying on some sort of a miracle or just some sort of complete change in events externally that frees you up, other than taking the responsibility while you have the choice to do it. It's always better to make the choice to make the change that's incoming anyway, rather than letting it happen to you and feel more powerless, kind of powerless, oppressed energy, and then you're almost waiting for like some sort of a something to save the day, or some just stroke of luck, like you win the lotto and now all your debts are cleared. Be careful about mounting debts in the financial sense this month, Virgo. So that's what I'm thinking around. Venus is an awesome planet and it's usually benefic, but sometimes it can, the shadow side, like everything has a shadow side, right? It can be overindulgence and spending too much, and then you have mounting debts with the Devil card, and this energy is something just to be mindful of in the month of August, because then you're like, oh my gosh, I really just like need to win the lotto for me to get out of this trap. Okay, so that's okay. Let's look at these cards together and clear more to clarify. Okay, so Virgo, you've been keeping your cool in a really, really strong and powerful way while you have been up against the odds of secrets, lack of transparency, freedom, lack of freedom, restriction, feeling like, you know, you don't know what's coming next, but you've been really doing very well with all of this. You seem like you kind of, through it all, this is such an unclear duo, but through it all I see like you still having some sort of clarity on it. Let me have a look. So what have you been up against, Virgo? Okay, so now we do have your Mercury and Virgo energy, and that is very interesting because that's where that clarity, Mercury is exalted in Virgo. So any of you Virgos watching with Mercury and Virgo, you're going to be really pleased with this Mercury and Virgo transit. Mercury does so well in Virgo. And it's all about new perspective, right? So the Hanged Man is a change in perspective after really some total time out and going within, looking without, like not just within. You look at the world, you change your worldview. That's very powerful. Kind of, this is when your soul is ready to basically evolve and see something in a new way. Now, it isn't always going to be pleasant, okay? And that could have been what's been happening for you. Not everything you've been learning or hearing has been something welcome. Like, would you rather not know a lot of this shit? Yeah, maybe, especially if it's family drama, especially if it's dealing with other people's issues. Virgo, for August, we talked about feeling possibly powerless to something. Even somebody that we really love or something that we do really love. We talked about potentially pressures mounting or debts stacking up. Let's clear up this middle row, the Devil, the Ace of Cups, and the Nine of Wands, and see what this means for your sign. It could be just an indication to watch out for too much drinking or too much partying, letting the cup run over, pouring too many glasses of wine, feeling kind of in the fear the next day, wondering what you said, worrying about what you did, the usual. Knight of Cups coming through, and also the Nine of Swords. Yeah, okay, so let me have a look at this. Your energy is at the bottom of the deck, the Knight of Pentacles. You could be dealing with the Pisces at this time. Both of you are looking to do the same things and ultimately have the same goals, but it stresses you out about how much of a difference there is about kind of like expressing this or how you go after it if you're dealing with the Pisces. It doesn't have to be. Really what I see with this situation unfolding is this actually could be somebody that you're romantically involved with, that you do feel some sort of a serious attraction and deep feeling towards, but you can't help but feel like they're not fully healthy for you, or that they're not slightly toxic. Or together you might think, yeah, they're great, I'm great, but together it does seem to be like kind of an unhealthy combination. It doesn't have to be a water sign or a Pisces you're dealing with, but it definitely can be. Okay, let's have a look and move on from that. So we'll look at the upcoming energies and basically what I see happening towards the end of the month. Be mindful not to address the problems that you're starting to worry about in the month of August, because they do seem like they're possibly perhaps able to stack up and become even more troublesome for you to carry or deal with. It does look like something fortunate is going to happen so that this becomes easier for you. Now, say like this, Virgo. Say you wanted to get accepted into a college program, and you have to, only a select amount of people are getting, and it's almost luck of the draw. That's when Wheel of Fortune would come in and just award you just some fortunate upswing in events that makes things possible for you. So let's look at the 3 10s at the end of this reading, August into September. 10 of Wands, number 10, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 10 of Swords. 10 in Tarot is the number of completion and finality. It's when we're ending nearing the end of a cycle on something, and we're about to finish off only to kind of start again. And Death card at the bottom of the deck, totally supporting this kind of ending that might be scheduled to take place. Another 10, the 10 of Cups in reverse. And the Knight and King of Swords. You have to make a decision to end something. It's not going to be the easiest thing to do. It could be a contact with toxic family members or people who take too much from you. You feel like you're almost responsible for certain family members' happiness, and that's just simply not true or not fair or not right. You're not responsible for anybody's happiness, Virgo. Doesn't have to be an Aquarius that you feel responsible for, but it could be. Yes, basically 10s, all of these 10s at the end of the reading with Death card is telling me that cyclically and energetically there does seem to be some sort of a culmination phase coming up by the end of the month. Your birthday season, Sun in Virgo at that point, you might really be feeling that kind of back to school energy, or when the Sun transits through the sign of Virgo, it illuminates Virgoan themes, okay? So we could be getting more organized, you could be fine-tuning, you could be putting the finishing touches on something and bringing something to completion in a bigger way. Virgo, that is your August general reading. I do have a relationship reading for July available on my channel, and I'm going to have a really fun reading coming out in August, something pretty different. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you hit like, share, or subscribe so you don't miss out. Thank you.